Alright, here's our Polyathlon demo. If you notice, we've got a nice little icon here of Poly from Polyathlon in a running pose. Here's all our characters, the greatest athletes that the world has ever seen. We got Polly, Buck Bowman, Bo Buckman, Sergey, the Silver Sprinter, Cowbot, Best Judo, the Walkin' Bass, me, the other one, Dr. Des Mesmer, and Doug. Well, we're gonna play as Doug today. And we can set this number of CPUs here, so if I wanted to race by myself I could, but it would be very lonely. But we're going to set it to the max. And we're going to start with Mount Stevens, which is what we started with when everything was turning green. And so, as you can see, the first phase of this is swimming, which is definitely the most boring.
You can see that he started under the water and he's slowly being pushed to the top.
Yes. Yeah, Doug tends to stay underwater a little bit longer than most, probably because of his small stature.
That's about all we have to say about
it. Definitely the most boring part of the game, as I've said. Yeah, so all of the music is original, except the main menu music was actually written for a different project by one of our friends that we worked on. But everything else was written for this game, and I hope you enjoy it. So here we can see all of the CPUs took items, and I'm sad, so I'm going to wait for one. And I got a banana peel, which is not helping me in the slightest, because I'm very far away. Now, as you can see, we're at Mount Stevens. If you read that boulevard, it says, "Welcome to Mount Stevens," just so you know where we are.
We're coming up on a tunnel.
Yes. So this tunnel was created by using the paint holes tool for the train tool in Unity, and that was what created the hole in the train that the tunnel goes through, and then the rest of the tunnel is created with Pro Builder. So as you can see, there's a Polly right ahead of us, and I have a watermelon, so I'm going to peg her with the watermelon, and down she goes. I'm sorry, Polly. It had to be done. But yeah, so each row of item boxes actually, the CPUs, the way the CPU navigation works is that they go from waypoint to waypoint. We have them set up around the track, and the item boxes are actually treated as optional waypoints. So there's a certain chance that each CPU will go for an item box. So as you can see up there, Dr. Des Mesmer, he just went out of his way to get one a little bit. And yeah, they use the items at a random interval after they obtain them. Now you can see my item is Speedy Sauce, which is a
double kill.
Yeah, wow, somebody just got a double kill up there. But Speedy Sauce is what you might expect from a sauce called that, and it makes you go speedy. Ooh. Now I have a banana peel. So I'm going to use my camera controls to look around here and see if I can trip the walking base.
And you have tripped not the walking
no,
base,
I
but
dropped it. That was the walking base.
Two people behind you.
There we go. Now I tripped.
Oh wait,
you didn't. No, that was not my banana.
For someone else's.
Yeah.
Out for blood.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning, we posted on Piazza asking if we could use this paid asset, which we did use to create the roads and these barricades. It doesn't really have an effect on gameplay, but we already had it and we thought it would add to the scenery.
Yes. I'm going to trip on this banana peel, just for the effect. But I'm going to do the same thing to the walking base again. Oh, and Des Mesmer.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Oh my god, everybody. Sergey's angry. Yeah, so as you can see, who's that? Is that Buck?
I don't know.
Buck? No, that's not
somebody.
Buck. So somebody up there got jetpacks and they're going, and the lasers are firing. The lasers don't start firing until somebody has a jetpack on. They only target people wearing jetpacks. So otherwise you'd be knocked off the mountain before you got anywhere near there.
We should show off the sounds for the lasers right now.
Absolutely.
And the music.
Yes. So you'll notice the music changed when we entered the jetpack area. And yeah, I got hit by the rotor. My bad. I did it again.
Oh, you
no!
fool!
I was trying to grab the item box, but
shut the camera clipping real quick. Oh, never mind. Too late.
Yeah. But yeah, so I better get to move on. But yeah, the lasers they target your predicted position based on your speed and the known speed of the lasers. So they don't just do a transform to look at. They look at the position that they expect you to be in based on your current velocity. If you were to not change your velocity ever, then they'd be guaranteed to hit you, which makes them come very close to hitting you a lot of times. So we got these little item boxes on top of each of them. They're not particularly useful for when you have a jetpack. And then I can also get hit, as you saw before, by a rotor. And yeah, so I'm not able to revive until the velocity of my hips goes below a certain threshold, or if something weird is happening, there's some glitch and I can't stop moving, then there's a timeout that if it goes past, I think, 7 seconds, then you're just able to revive, period. So I have this watermelon. I'm going to try to peg someone with it, but it's very hard to do while jetpacking.
I don't think you did. Oh, and you have to physically cross the finish line.
Yes,
you go above
underneath it. That's part of the challenge. But it's a little bit hard to communicate that. Yeah. But yeah, so we made it in.
Got 10th.
Yeah, we got 10th place, Doug. And then the CPUs who have not finished yet, we guessed on their time, estimated by their velocity and distance. But yeah, so that's not perfect, but it doesn't really matter for them. Alright, so we're back to the main menu now, and now we're going to switch to multiplayer mode. I'm going to get rid of the keyboard because I prefer to use a gamepad. I'm actually going to get rid of this gamepad because I prefer to use the other gamepad. And I guess I'll be best studio for this case.
All right. We can try the other course.
Yeah.
Let's go max CPUs because that's what makes it fun.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see we have a little preview of the stage, and after 5 seconds, it cycles images to give you
with coroutine.
With the coroutine.
One of our 28 coroutines.
So this is Polyopolis. This is our city-state stage. As you can see, there's different music than you've heard before to give it its own theme.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for an item to show off the.
This is an actual recording of music as well that my counterpart here recorded.
Thank you. Anyway, so as we mentioned in class, here is a button with a watermelon on it, and if you are smart enough to hit it with a watermelon, oh, that's the jump button. This building collapses, and you can get a head start. I'm not actually going to take that head start. I'll let
you're gonna be.
I'll let the other man do it,
so you can
see both. Just so you can see both routes of the city.
Yes. You're gonna regret that. You're gonna regret that.
Yeah, I am.
I see a watermelon up there. I'm miles ahead of everybody else. Yes, as you can see, we're welcoming us to Polyopolis, even though we're actually leaving now. But
one feature that's kind of important to note is that when I'm running, I can use the left stick or WASD to change which direction my character goes. It's not always relative to camera forward, and I can use the right stick or the mouse to change which way the camera is looking, and I can run independent of that. But if you look on the right half of the screen, where Matt Graver is on the bicycle, he always has to go forward relative to the camera because you can't sidestep on a bicycle.
Yeah. Nice. Here comes the CPUs. There's something else I was going to mention, but I forgot what it was. Well, I got speedy sauce, so I'm going to go speedy on this bike.
I'm already ahead of you.
I got more speedy sauce. This is almost unfair. But yeah, this is the bike.
Yeah, we use the terrain tools to create this terrain, and the paint trees part of that to create trees.
Yeah, and the same goes for the other course. Oh yeah, so you also notice the music change goes on when you're doing multiplayer. It's whoever crosses the threshold to change the music first. That's what it determines it based on. So now we're in the bird section. I just got picked by a bird. If you want to mention birds.
Oh yeah, so the birds, as you can see, they're each flying in a circle, like birds tend to do in real life. So if you each circle has a trigger collider. Usually they are capsule colliders. So if you cross into their little bird circle, then they will come after you and they will peck you. Or if you don't cross the circle but you just get too close to the bird itself, they will also come after you and peck you. And they're pretty hard to outrun because they're generally faster than you. But if you go far enough away, then they'll leave you alone. Additionally, the birds are really, really good at getting the CPUs because they don't know to avoid the bird circles. So we added a chance. I think right now it's set to 50. 50% chance that every time a CPU is supposed to get chased by a bird, he just won't, and the bird will leave him alone. Anyway, I finished the race.
Yes.
And
I look slowly going around the birds. So I'm just gonna pass over here. I think I'll still get second place. But I'm curious about CPU. Oh, there they come. There they come. They're chased by birds.
Oh, I died.
Yep.
Anyway, that's the other course.
Yeah. Now we can show what it looks like when we
Three-player?
Yeah. We'll start with 4 and a little bit of 3.
Okay. We'll get out of this really fast. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. So as you can see, the screen has been split into 4 quadrants, one for each player. Everyone can go independently.
We all picked the same character.
Yeah, we did.
It's not a good example, but
yeah, sorry. Well,
that's all right.
That's about all there is to show to that. It controls exactly the same as any other game, and we use the different anchoring on the canvas to make sure that stuff like the time in the upper right corner and the place in the bottom left corner always stay anchored to the right part of the screen.
Yeah, and so the way that we did the split screen is actually using the new Unity input system, which has a very nice component called player input and the player input manager, and that allows you to create prefabs that have the player input component on it. And when you instantiate these, if you have on the player input manager, if you have enable split screen selected, then it'll just do this automatically as long as the prefab that you instantiate has a camera component on it. So that's how we were able to do this so easily.
I guess we can go back and show what the player looks like.
So go back to
just don't do the keyboard here.
So here's our 3 players. Sure.
So 3-player, it's basically the same layout as 4-player, except the bottom right quadrant just is a little placeholder that says Polyathlon.
Yeah.
In case you forgot what the name of the game you're playing is.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's the same as the rest of the game.
Anything else you want?
Did we mention the interruptible coroutines?
I guess not in this, no.
Okay, I'll just get a banana and we can do it real quick for the vibe, I guess. Oh wait, no, that's a jetpack.
Well, I mean, it's both, but it's more visible on jetpacks.
Okay, where are you going?
I'm just going.
But I'm gonna kill you.
Oh. Well, not if I...
Can we get this?
I missed.
Oh, you missed.
Yes.
Right.
So that was one of our coroutines, very, very subtly there. As you saw, when Doug fell over, the camera stayed centered on his hips, even though Doug's game object, Doug's parent game object is
probably around where I'm standing right now.
Yeah. So when the character ragdolls, the child game object, which is one of the child game objects, is their actual body, which has a ragdoll structure with rigid bodies on each limb.
Get up and start moving real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to get a better example.
Yeah.
Just move in a straight line real quick.
Hit me.
Wrong button, sorry.
Gimme. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so the coroutine is that the camera stays centered on the hips, and we couldn't do that just by a regular parent-child relationship because that would entail a lot of bad rotations that we don't want from the when you're ragdolling, so that just makes you nauseous, especially when you're jetpacking. That's when this becomes really useful, when you're jetpacking and your character falls from like 500 meters in the sky or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's about all there is to say about that part.
Yeah. Then I guess there's also a coroutine that spins around the camera. You can also spin it back.
Yeah. But I guess that is about all that we have to talk about for our game. I think we hit all the requirements, even though I think we talked about it in class too. But
yeah. And yeah, apologies again for the weird green video and the disaster of our presentation, but hope this this video got the gist of it across for you.
Yeah.
And I hope you'll try it out at some point.
Yeah, we're planning to, at least to some degree, add some more features. So
yeah, think about battle mode.
Yeah, maybe time trials. So we'll maintain it on GitHub, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's all.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you very much.